Ever since we wrote the book, Five-Star QB, I've heard from so many more parents and quarterbacks and athletes asking about the recruiting process. So I thought I'd come on to my YouTube channel and talk a little bit about the recruiting process. The number one question I'm getting from families is, should my high school son transfer? The number two question is, should my junior high or elementary school son reclassify? Very fair questions. And I understand the landscape, which is high school recruiting right now. A lot of quarterbacks, a lot of athletes are reclassifying, basically repeating a grade. And a lot of quarterbacks, especially that position, are transferring because they want to go play. And I get all that. But here's what I want to tell parents. The number one question you need to ask your son is not, what school do you want to go to? Or, hey, what do you think about repeating seventh grade? It needs to be, are you happy? I understand how simple that may sound, but when you peel back a couple of those layers and you ask the follow-ups of, hey, what's school like? It's fun. What are your friends like? Really enjoy them. What are your grades like? They're good. What's the overall holistic experience of being around your staff and the locker room like? Oh, it's healthy. I think of the answers they have to a variety of those drop-down questions that fall underneath, are you happy? I think will help you figure out your answer. I've got a ton of empathy for parents going through this because, again, like you can't Google how to be the parent of a college recruit, a five-star recruit, a walk-on recruit. It's why we wrote the book Five-Star Quarterback. It was one of the driving pillars and why to spend a couple years writing this book is to help parents along this journey. So there's a bunch of resources in this book, but I really want to share today and now of going back to that singular question of, are you happy? And I think for parents, sometimes they get so caught up in, I got to take care of my child. I got to guide my son for his future. And what happens sometimes is you forget about the present. It's not a knock on you. I'm not taking a shot at parents. I'm just saying sometimes that's the reality of, like, you're looking down the road of, how does he get his scholarship? These college coaches are telling him X. A personal QB coach is telling him Y. Like, go back to center. Why do I say that? Well, if you look ahead, and this is the world I live in college football specifically, the quarterback room, like we talked about in the book, is a shark tank. It is a room where there's not a lot of oxygen. Everybody's the alpha. Everybody wants the job, and there's only so many snaps, and usually there's just one quarterback that plays. Well, as we look ahead of what college football is now, and then definitely will be when your son gets to that level, you have to look at the room and say, even when it's seemingly his time to start, if he's in that room, a college coach is probably going to bring in a transfer to compete with him. All likelihood that's going to happen. And they're definitely going to bring in another recruitable high school player to compete with him. So it's never going to be like, here's the keys to the car, just go. That does not happen very rarely. And there's a bunch of examples where you can look at it, and the numbers and the data would bear that out of, over 50% of five-star quarterbacks transfer once, another 18% transfer twice. Now we're seeing quarterbacks transfer three times. That's just the nature of the beast. So I say that to you now, if your son sits in ninth grade and you're thinking about transferring schools to play, if he's answering the question, yeah, I am happy. Grades are good. Community's good. Friendships are good. I love going to this school. My mental health is good. Well, then pause on that. You don't have to pull that lever just yet. Allow them to be happy, because as they continue to go and grow, adversity, it's going to show up. Competition is only getting stronger. And the keys to the proverbial car in the quarterback room are very rarely, if ever, going to be given to anyone. I hope this helps you. If you have any questions about recruiting, about our book, Five-Star Quarterback, and of course, college football, just let me know in the comments or hit me up on social media. Thanks for subscribing and checking out this YouTube channel. I've really had a joy. It's a little uncomfortable at times, kind of just talking to a camera, nobody on the other side, but it's been fun hearing the response from people over the course of the first couple of videos we've done here in the new year. Peace.